We often think of sleep as just hitting the off switch, right? Powering down for the day. But what if I told you it's actually one of the most active and important times for your brain? Today, we're going to dive into the incredible link between how you sleep, what you remember, and your brain's health in the long run. We're about to see why a good night's sleep is less about resting and more about your brain clocking in for a vital nightly work shift. I mean, we've all been there. You toss and turn all night, and the next day, it feels like you're trying to think through mud. You can't focus, even simple tasks feel like a huge effort, and your memory is just gone. But why? Why does just one single bad night of sleep have such a huge effect on us? What's really going on in there? Well, the answer is so much bigger than just feeling tired. It gets to the very heart of how your brain builds memories, how it learns new things, and this is the really important part, how it actually cleans house to protect itself from some really scary diseases down the road. Okay, so the first big idea we need to wrap our heads around is this. We have to completely rethink what sleep is. We imagine our brain just shuts down, goes quiet for a few hours, but the truth is, it's the total opposite. The moment your body powers down, your brain clocks in for one of its most critical shifts of the entire day. This says it all, really. Sleep isn't passive. It's this dynamic, super organized process where your brain is working hard, organizing files, making repairs, and getting everything ready for the next day. It's a biological need, every bit as important as food and water. So, what's the brain doing on this work shift? Well, one of its main jobs is saving your memories. That whole process of turning something that happened today into a permanent memory you'll have for years. Yeah, that magic trick happens almost entirely while you're asleep. To understand how, let's meet the hippocampus. Think of it like your brain's email inbox, or maybe the RAM on your computer. Every single thing you experience during the day, a new fact, a conversation, a new skill you're learning, it all lands here first. But, and this is key, this inbox has limited space. It's just a temporary holding area. Through the permanent files, we need to go to the cerebral cortex. This is the brain's giant long-term archive. I mean, it's got practically unlimited storage space for memories that can last a lifetime. So the big question is, how do you get the important stuff from that small, temporary inbox to this massive, permanent archive? Well, the transfer happens through this amazing process called memory consolidation. And when does it happen? You guessed it, while you're sleeping. Your brain replays the day's events, strengthening the important connections and moving those memories from the hippocampus over to the cortex for permanent safekeeping. This also clears out your hippocampus, making it fresh and ready to learn new things tomorrow. But it's not all one big process. Different stages of sleep have different jobs. During that deep, slow-wave sleep, your brain is like a meticulous librarian, filing away facts, figures, and skills. But then, during REM sleep, it's more like a creative artist, weaving together emotional experiences, helping you make sense of things, and even sparking new ideas. You absolutely need both. So when you have a bad night and this whole transfer gets interrupted, you get this. That brain fog you feel? That's literally the feeling of your hippocampus being full. Yesterday's files haven't been moved, so there's no room for new information to come in. Now, the good news here is that when it's just a night or two of bad sleep, these effects are usually totally reversible. Okay, so filing memories is job number one. But there's another job happening during deep sleep that is just as vital. And honestly, scientists are only just beginning to understand how incredible it is. While you sleep, your brain literally gives itself a deep clean. It's all thanks to something called the glymphatic system. You can think of it like a sanitation crew that only works the night shift. When you're in deep sleep, this system kicks into high gear, flushing cerebrospinal fluid through your brain. It's like a power wash that clears out all the metabolic junk that builds up between your brain cells during the day. And what kind of junk is it cleaning out? This is where things get really serious. The cleaning crew is specifically targeting toxic proteins, especially two called beta amyloid and tau. And if those names ring a bell, it's because these are the exact proteins that clump together to form the plaques and tangles that are the hallmarks of Alzheimer's disease. And get this, the effect is immediate and shocking. Studies have shown that just one single night of bad sleep is enough to cause a measurable increase in the levels of beta amyloid in your brain. The cleaning crew just didn't get enough time to do its job. Now just imagine what happens when that happens night after night after night. This is what can lead to a really dangerous feedback loop. See, it's not just that poor sleep lets these toxins build up. The real problem is that the buildup of those toxins can then cause even worse sleep. And that's how you get trapped in this downward spiral that can really speed up brain damage over time. Let's just walk through this cycle. It all starts with poor sleep. Because you're not getting enough deep sleep, the cleaning crew can't clear out toxins like beta amyloid. So these proteins start to accumulate, and they can damage brain cells. And here's the kicker. They start to damage the very parts of the brain that help you get deep sleep in the first place. That makes your sleep even worse, which leads to more toxins, and on it goes. So after hearing all that, the big question is, what can we do? Well, just understanding this stuff is the first, most powerful step. And a huge part of that is learning to tell the difference between temporary, sleep-related memory issues and the signs of something more serious. This chart makes it pretty clear. On one hand, memory loss from bad sleep, it comes and goes, it's worse after a bad night, better after a good one, and the really key thing is it's reversible. On the other hand, Alzheimer's is progressive. It doesn't get better, it slowly gets worse. And while bad sleep mostly affects your focus, Alzheimer's attacks your fundamental ability to form new memories at all. It's also so important to know about specific sleep disorders that really raise the risk. Things like obstructive sleep apnea, where your breathing stops and starts all night, is a huge one. But also chronic insomnia, or even major disruptions to your body clock from something like shift work, they all rob your brain of the deep sleep it needs for that cleaning process. So when should you really think about talking to a doctor? Here are the big red flags. If your memory problems aren't just once in a while, but they're persistent. If your partner tells you that you snore really loudly or even stop breathing at night, that's a classic sign of sleep apnea. Or if you just feel wiped out all day, every day, even when you think you got enough hours in bed. Any of those are a clear sign to get a professional evaluation. And really, that's what this all comes down to. Protecting your sleep is protecting your brain. It's not a luxury, it's not optional, it is non-negotiable biological maintenance. When you make good sleep a priority, you are actively defending your memory and making a powerful investment in your future brain health. It's one of the best things you can do for the you of tomorrow. Thanks for diving into this with me.